Crypto Monday San Juan. We got an amazing speaker for you tonight, man, so you guys should be pretty excited. If we could get everyone settled down and in from the bar, we got the amazing Ming here tonight, guys, talking about crypto marketing and the things that she's done in the industry to help promote cryptocurrency and get it out to the world. Guys, let's hear it from Ming Kim. Ming, is your mic working?
Yes, it is.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, you're here tonight thanks to my brother, because he put us together, and I had to research you and the amazing things that you've done. Would you please introduce yourself to our community, if they don't know you by now? Because everybody I talk to knows you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Min, and I currently work as CMO of HBAR Foundation, which is Hedera's foundation. And previously, I was CMO at Polygon, and I've worked with companies like Sushi Swap and Avalanche and TomoChain, Reef, Wabi, just a ton of companies. So I'm super excited to be here and share some of my marketing secrets with you guys.
So, I mean, thank you for the work you've done, man. What brings you to the island? What brings you to Puerto Rico?
I actually moved here last March because I was looking for something that would get me out of my comfort zone. I'm almost 30. My birthday's in June, and
happy birthday.
Thank you. And I felt like I wanted to kind of, like push myself out of my comfort zone one last time before I turned 30. And so this was it. I wanted to move to Puerto Rico and left behind my apartment, my friends, and just took the leap as a girl, and I love it here. I really like evangelize Puerto Rico.
Where you came
from? From Oakland, near San Francisco. Mm-hmm.
San Francisco, that's a far journey.
Yeah, it's pretty far.
We have some people from California here tonight. Can we get someone to ask the bar to turn down the music, please? Can someone please ask them to shut off the music? Thank you. California, that's a long journey, a long trek away from your family, and you fell in love with Puerto Rico. Why?
I'm not sure what it is. The community is so inclusive and warm, and I think there's just like a really interesting, special energy here. And so I'd only spent 3 months in Puerto Rico, but I went to Miami, and I visited my parents in Palo Alto, and I went to San Francisco, and I missed it a lot. Even a few days away from Puerto Rico, it just, I don't know what it was, but it had like a special connection with me. And so that's why, I put down my roots here. I bought 2 condos in Puerto Rico, and I really want to invest in the community for the long term.
That's awesome. I know the feeling because I travel sometimes, and after a week, I'm like, I need to get back home. I need to get back to Puerto Rico, so I know the feeling.
I feel the same way.
Awesome. Well, tell us about, early in your career. Let's start there. You've done some amazing things in the industry in getting the word out about cryptocurrency. So how did you start?
Sure. So I grew up in Palo Alto, and I went to college on the East Coast at Dartmouth, which is a very traditional school, and all my friends wanted to go to Wall Street. They wanted to work for Google. And I just went back home to Palo Alto after college, and after a year, I decided that I wanted to become an expert at something that was really cutting edge. And so I emailed every single startup in crypto, AI, and VR in Palo Alto, and I told them I wanted to work for them for free because I just wanted to get exposure to the industry. And so one of the startups replied back, and I started working in marketing and media consultant for cryptocurrency companies in 2015.
And that's hard to do. I know the industry. I'm in sales and marketing too, so I'm sure you did a lot of cold calls and got the door shut in your face a bunch of times.
I think in 2015, I sent more than 1,000 emails to folks.
That's dedication.
Yeah, in Palo Alto, I just really wanted to. I wanted to join an emerging industry, and so I was very, very set on it. It wasn't really by accident, and I consulted for a VR company and an AI company and a crypto company, and I ended up taking a full-time job at an AI company for a year, and then after that, I ended up working for Tim Draper, and that was during the era of ICOs, and so he invested in Tezos and Bancor, and that I was helping manage his Twitter account and doing a lot of events for him, so that's how I kind of like fell back into the industry in 2017.
So how long are you in the industry now? What's your career looking like?
I've been in the industry for 7 years in marketing and BD, and I love it. It's
so you're an OG because a lot of people don't make it.
Yeah.
They start and they get the door shut in their face and they get discouraged and, they just back off. But you didn't. Yeah,
like personally, I consider myself a little shy, introverted, but after college, I also entered a sales role, and I did a lot of sales for this AI company, and I literally sent thousands of emails a week, right? I cold called tons of VPs at retail stores, and I just learned how to not fear rejection. And like once you kind of feel confident and you're not afraid of rejection, it's like the sky's really the limit. So just getting out of your comfort zone has always been something that's been really beneficial for me in my personal life and professional life as well.
And that got you into some amazing positions like
exactly.
with, Polygon and where you're at now. And
definitely.
I mean, you, I'm sure you've traveled the world preaching crypto.
Yes. It's, I actually worked for Tim Draper for a while, and then I was 25 and I moved to San Francisco and I didn't have a job and I just wanted to start my own company. And so I moved into a triple. I was paying maybe $500 a month, and I started my own events and marketing consulting company in San Francisco, and I was just living on revenue from my event sales. So that was kind of how it happened. And my second client was a company called QuantStamp, and I helped them with their ICO, which was very successful, and that's what led to kind of like my own agency growing to more than 30 clients over a span of 2 years. And I was actually just like a one-man shop. And so it was just all via word of mouth and the fact that I was just really passionate about what I was doing. And I just really loved the founders that I was working with. And so I was definitely just recommended within the industry, and I grew my consulting that way.
Well, thank you for not getting discouraged and continuing to preach the world of crypto, because we need people like you to be our voice and be the voice of crypto so the world will find out about it.
Definitely. My name is Min, and in Korean it means the people. And my parents actually met at a people protest rally, and they were always just about like human rights and just empowering folks and kind of like income distribution in Korea. And so I'm the oldest. They named me Min, which means the people. And I'm fascinated about crypto, not only for the technology, but the community and the human layer around it. And I think, that is what I just really love about the industry.
So you were destined from a baby to be.
That's what I tell folks.
That's awesome. And it throughout all that, it brought you here to Puerto Rico, and it seems like you got your roots in Puerto Rico. Tell me, what have you done to try to help impact Puerto Rico? Because I know that's important to you.
I actually have some of my former colleagues and personal friends who moved here this year, and I host hot pots in my apartment in Atlantis, and I really try to
hot pot girl, guys.
Yeah. I try to like really grow the community, and I'm looking to become involved in a lobbying firm for crypto in Puerto Rico as well. And so I think, I definitely love connecting people and evangelizing Puerto Rico. And I've been involved in some startups here. I do a lot of just like pro bono work where if I really connect with the founder, I'll just make introductions, right? It's not really out of like a commission or money, but just because I just want to see the ecosystem grow. And so I've definitely helped out a lot of the founders on this island as well.
Well, I see a lot of here in Puerto Rico, at least the people that I've met that come through Crypto Mondays, they're very open to helping the island do what it needs to do or investing into the island. Can you talk about some of the people or investments that you've worked with to help the island?
I don't know if I could name them. I didn't personally invest yet, but they've been like gaming companies, and also even just a lot of the founders here are founders of their own investment companies. And so I've also like shared deals with folks on this island. And, personally, I love art. And so I'm trying to get more involved in, galleries like Embajada. And I'm trying to just like understand the restaurant scene as well.
The restaurant scene, there's food in every other corner, not even every 30 feet, there's a restaurant here in Puerto Rico.
There's a lot of restaurants, and when I was in Oakland, I actually worked part-time over the weekends as a wine salesperson. I was the #1 wine salesperson, and I didn't know anything about wine. And so, like my personal passion has always been in hospitality, and so I definitely want to just like become friends with proprietors of local businesses, and just like understand what their interest in crypto is as well.
Awesome. So what's next for Ming Kim here on the island? Can we expect anything big?
Yeah, so I think that I definitely want to, get more involved in the crypto community. So that's why I'm here.
I know you're actually going to be helping out with Crypto Monday San Juan.
Exactly.
So that's a beautiful thing. Is there anything else that you got coming up that is going to help the community out here in Puerto Rico that you can speak of?
Well, I was just at ETH Denver, and I evangelized Puerto Rico to everyone I knew.
So you're bringing them all to Puerto Rico.
They're all going to visit me, yeah. So I think I definitely want to do more small, like smaller, like I personally am kind of like a little introverted, and so I kind of thrive in like 10-person meetings or 10-person social gatherings. So doing more like intimate dinners around DeFi, around just like investing in different verticals is something I want to do. And in San Francisco, when I left, my meetup was actually 650 people in San Francisco. Yeah, I ran one of the oldest crypto meetups in San Francisco, and so definitely want to, just grow this community to like double its size by the end of next year.
Yeah, so we got a lot of great things at Crypto Mondays that's going to be happening soon, and Ming has told us that she will be lovely to help us and grow the things that we're doing. So we're definitely grateful for that. What is the ending question here? What is the thing that you want to talk about mostly here on the Spotlight?
Yeah, I'm actually hiring for my team, and it's just hard because I went to a college where a lot of my friends are at Google, and I saw them in Denver, and I also know a lot of people who are very crypto native marketers, and people actually ask me what I look for when I'm hiring a candidate, and I think it's really hard because you want to hire someone who has like a baseline of IQ and EQ, but in the end, I think, I've been thinking a lot about spiritual quotient, and you've seen communities like Axie, right, say that they want to attract missionaries and not mercenaries. I think someone who understands, the human desire to just belong to community and to interact in a place where it's aligned with their core values, and kind of understands, empathy, compassion, like how people react to your message. That's the most important thing. And so marketing is just very, very intricately tied to community building here in crypto. And I think, here on the island, I just feel like I become a more spiritual version of myself. And I definitely think that, whoever wants to like become that top level marketer should also try to focus on not only paid ads, right, and all social and content marketing, but also just understanding people's psyche and the spiritual driver for the community or project that you are marketing.
Awesome. So, real quick, what would you tell the young person coming up in the marketing industry for crypto? What would be their focal point to stay, to look to drive to?
Early in my career, I worked with people like Tim Draper, Justin Sun. They wrote me LinkedIn recommendations. And so it is about what you do and the skills that you build, but it's really about the people you work with. And so I would say, just go through Twitter, go through YouTube, and look for the person that inspires you the most. And then just aggressively ask them, like, hey, can I work for you even unpaid, right? Or maybe, host a podcast or an event that features that person. But really, I think in the end, if you are able to sell your unique value, skills-wise, personality-wise, to that person that you admire, in the end, that makes the most difference in your career. And it is really all people's driven. So I would say track the energy, track your own vibes, and just try to really make sure that you are spiritually aligned with the people that you work with early on.
Well, thank you. Your name definitely rings bells when people say Ming Kim. There's not one person that I spoke to today that didn't know who you were or how hard you've worked in the industry, and we thank you for that.
Yes, of course. Thanks so much.
Guys, any questions for Ming Kim? Oh, Oh, yeah, we can clap. Hell yeah. That deserves a clap for sure. I like clapping. Do we have a mic, George? Can we get someone on the mic there? I can't see, so guys, you got to forgive me. I got the sun there. George, can you grab a mic for questions? Awesome. Whoever has it, whatever.
Hi, thanks so much for sharing your story. You obviously have an impressive resume. As 7 years in the industry, you're a veteran. So we talked about what you look for when you're hiring. What do you look for in companies that you're working with or partnering with?
I think that's a super, super important question. And I think before I kind of joined companies maybe that were not really aligned to my personal values because they had a great brand name, they had a big budget, they were very prestigious. But I think now, at my stage in my career, I really look to work with people that are super high integrity that I can work with for the next 10 years. Because a lot of our industry is about short-term profit, but if you can really find the people that you can just build trust with over 10 years, that becomes really like a compounding effect. And so I definitely, like I wrote on my personal website my core values for people I want to work with, and it's LIFERS is the acronym. So love, integrity, fun, excellence, respect, and sincerity are the things that I definitely want to look for in people that I work with.
Nice. What is your personal website?
It is BLOCKULTURAL.com, blockcultural.com.
Awesome. Thank you. Next question, George.
Great, thanks. I was wondering what your impressions were of ETH Denver. You said you were at the conference last week, and anything pop out at you as like surprising or super interesting, or just your impressions?
I was at ETH Denver, and I got back last midnight, and I threw 3 events there, and we had more than, I think, 300 to 400 people combined across the 3 events. And the folks that really drew my attention were actually the young developers in the room that were in high school. Yeah, so it's like the Tribe Rory Capital folks. They just sucked me in like a magnet. They were just so passionate, and they came to all 3 of my events, or 2 out of 3 of my events. And so I think that a lot of the narratives that will be driven in the next 2 to 3 years will really be from folks who are below the age of 18. And so I think it's really important as a marketer to really understand that demographic.
Awesome. I like that they were 18 and in it.
I think their youngest developer is 15.
Next question.
Hi. Question about your advice for startups. What do you think are the biggest mistakes that startups in the crypto space make when they're trying to launch their product?
Very good question.
I think that's such a good question. And I think the biggest mistake is that if you have a company that's successful, for example, I worked with a company called Avalanche, everyone wants to know the playbook, and they want to do the same exact thing. And the industry moves so fast, and also there's like the demographic is constantly changing. Institutions come in, right? Younger folks from Robinhood come in, and so it's such a mistake to try to follow a playbook because it's not relevant 2 to 3 months later once you execute.
It's also new. The technology, everything's coming out so fast.
Totally. Yeah. So, I've done a lot of personality tests, and my Enneagram is 4, and that means that I really like things that are unique. And so when I work with the founder, I always, ask them 30 questions about how unique they are, right? What are you the first at, the best at, the fastest at? What does your team have the most experience in? And just really understanding your uniqueness is going to get you so much farther, because your unique tagline will drive a lot of word of mouth, viral marketing, where, hey, if you're like the first play to earn for, I don't know, like dogs, for example, like that's just so unique, so crazy, and that will go viral, and you won't have to spend $1 on your marketing budget to do paid ads, right? And so I definitely like to, growing up, everyone wants to fit in. Everyone, it doesn't make sense to be weird or unique or strange, but as an entrepreneur, you definitely want to lean into your unique qualities and really make sure that that becomes something that's very authentic to your brand and very visible.
Awesome. Next question. That was a good question, by the way.
Hi, I'm also in marketing, and I love working with blockchain companies. And my question is, what was the main challenge you had in marketing crypto companies, and how you overcame it?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think the main challenge of working for a crypto company is that there are just so many of them. And so really, you're just competing against so many players, and it's very hype driven. And so, hey, like if you and I have an idea and I'm trying to, create your marketing plan, and it's around like play to earn, like who knows? Like maybe all those, comparables that we're trying to benchmark against in 3 months, maybe their token price is down 90%, and that's not the new trend anymore. So everything is moving super fast, and I think, that's why you have to kind of understand the different demographics. And I, like me, and you also need to understand different kind of like generational segments and also different geographies. I think, like my unique advantage is that I got into Dartmouth for Spanish literature. I studied Italian language at Dartmouth, and I've always just been exposed to new communities. I'm fluent in Korean, and so just understanding as a marketer how to localize from day one into different languages, how to target a DGen audience, but also an institutional audience, and how to just like segment across all different ages is really important. And if you can be an empath and really just write down those customer personas and then launch it with limited resources, then you're golden. And I think the unique part about me is that I hate spending money on marketing, and I love to just do a lot of growth hacking viral campaigns that are super cheap. And so if you can really do that, then your worth is it's worth like millions, if not billions. So I would just like challenge you to segment your customers, and then like the creative gap and the entrepreneurial gap is always doing a lot and having that very ambitious goal with very limited resources. My first startup out of college, I had zero marketing budget, and so we just did a lot of email scraping, a lot of email campaigns, a lot of things that like we put like flyers all over Stanford campus. So just understand your customer segments, and then even if you have money to spend, like challenge yourself to cut your budget in half and see what you can do with that.
Awesome. Last question, guys. Last question. We got somebody?
Hi, Min.
Awesome.
At the beginning of your talk, you mentioned Hedera, and my ears instantly perked up. And I wanted to, then you were talking about the sort of people that you like to do business with or that you like to work with. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better human being than Lehman Baird. And I'm just wondering if you can talk about what you're doing with Hedera. And personally, like I heard about Lehman Baird way back on December 17th. I still remember the day in 2017, and I made a video about selling all my Bitcoin because I thought Hedera and HBAR was going to be the next biggest thing. So I'm just kind of frustrated with how long it's taking for that project to be, or for that network to grow into what I think it's capable of. So I'm just wondering if you can talk about Hedera and what you're doing with them and where you see it going.
Got it? Oh, good.
Yeah, of course.
We're not financial advisors, right?
Yes, nothing I say is officially Hedera endorsed. So I've worked with more than like 100 companies in marketing. I feel like because my night job is also like I worked with New Order, which incubated Butterfly, which is redacted Cartel, and I worked with Sushi Swap as my night job, and so like my whole life, even my hobbies are just crypto. And I think I talked to the HBAR team, and they just had just like a very unique way of looking at the world, and they were very long-term thinkers. And Hedera, it actually went open source this month, or I think last month, and they launched smart contracts that are EVM compatible recently. And so there's going to be a big surge of activity. And I was in December talking to all the blue chip DeFi applications that I'm friends with around building with us and really benefiting from the liquidity incentive program that we are setting up. And so I think that HBAR is a foundation that was really spun out to offer more than $1 billion of financial support to developers. And so I think that's why I'm excited about Hedera. And I think Hedera's community is just so unique in that a lot of folks that follow me on Twitter, they're from the Bible Belt. And so they're not the guys that would necessarily, when I worked at Polygon, those folks would maybe rotate between Solana and Matic and maybe like Luna, right? And you could kind of see that there was this one trader demographic that was rotating between different communities. But, HBAR has a very unique community that's a little siloed from that. And they're very, very strong supporters. And they've been very loyal for so long. And so I think that was a community that really excited me. And I think that, there needs to be a community that can bridge both the Bible Belt and the degens, right? So I think that is like a really exciting challenge for me. And, at ETH Denver, I met with one of our council members who is the head of digital assets at Google. And, I talk with folks at DLA Piper and Ubisoft who are on our governing council. And one of my, realizations this year was that there's just going to be a lot more money pouring in from corporations and enterprises into shaping crypto narratives. And so it's something that I definitely wanted to challenge myself as a marketer to understand how I could play a part in that.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, help me thank Ming Kim, please. Also, guys, let's thank, guys, we're working on, I know registering every week can get a little frustrating real quick, but we're working on a system. We're going to be having it put in play, hopefully, by next week. So bear with us. Bear with my wife. She can kick your ass. I promise you, she kicks mine. So don't give her no grief at the desk. Let's thank, the Fairmont for having us, Let's thank Pedro for having Ming King come up. We appreciate you guys. And please, whatever you could do to help Ming Kim impact the island and help myself impact Puerto Rico. If you have any ideas, come see us afterwards so we could definitely make an impact what we hear. And we can make some noise on the island with cryptocurrency. There's a lot of questions that I've had tonight about businesses integrating cryptocurrency into their businesses. So if you have any ideas, come up to me. I can point you guys in the right direction. Thank you guys for coming out. Any questions for her, just bombard her at the end.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night. We still got the place till 10 o'clock, so network, please.